This is really cool stuff. It's now my pleasure to introduce Chris Brewer, who's the Chief Engineer for Autonomous Vehicles at Ford Motor Company. As I said, Ford has been a sponsor of this event. I've seen some of the videos and the plans that Ford has for the future. They're doing some very exciting work in this field, and I'm anxious to have Chris tell you a little bit about it. So, Chris?
Good morning. Thanks, Rick, and thanks, Congresswoman Dingell. Let me tell you, I have never seen more students in one place in my life since I got out of college. So this is really exciting. Congratulations to all y'all for being here. So I've been with the company almost 30 years, Ford Motor Company, and I can tell you that this is the most exciting time we've had in the automobile business in over 100 years since Henry Ford automated the assembly line. And I say that because we're now at the cusp of being able to bring an automated drive or autonomous vehicle to the marketplace sometime before I retire. And this is something that requires the help of people like you in the audience to facilitate that. We've been an automobile company for over 100 years, and recently in the last 12 months we said we need not to be just an automobile company, we need to be a smart mobility company. And by being a smart mobility company, we want to enable transportation for all, whether it be via an automobile or whether it be some other form of transportation that we can facilitate. A key part of that is autonomous vehicles, and that's a little bit about what I want to talk about. While we've been in business for over 100 years and we're now all around the world, our home is here in Michigan, and this is the hub of our research and development activity. We've been working intensely on autonomous vehicles actually for over 10 years. It started back in the DARPA challenge in the 2005-2006 timeframe. We've learned a lot in that over the last 10 years. And we foresee that sometime, hopefully in the next 4 or 5 years, there'll be vehicles in the marketplace that will drive themselves. We're not sure if we're going to be first, but we expect that we will be there with technology that will enable the masses to take advantage of it. It will not be just on a very expensive automobile. And we see that future in the form of rideshare services, dynamic shuttles, package delivery, and the like. And we also view autonomous vehicles as being a key enabler for, again, transportation for everyone, not just people who can drive today, but people who are older, younger, mentally challenged, physically challenged, and the technology will allow people to get around on an individual basis in a way they haven't been able to do in the past. Now, one of the key parts about making that happen is trying to replicate what the human brain and eyes can do. And those are both two incredibly complex organs to try and replace. I think y'all probably know that in some of the work you're doing right now. In an effort to make a vehicle drive itself, we have to integrate radar, which we have today. We use for blind spot monitoring, we use for adaptive cruise control. We have to take cameras, which we also use today to help with, again, some of the advanced safety technology we have in vehicles. We're also going to have to integrate lasers, and we're going to have to integrate mapping. And we're going to have to take all 4 of those sensor sets, infuse that data into a massive compute type of platform, and then translate that into machine learning that enables the vehicle to make the right decision at the right time. And that's all in an effort to get a vehicle to drive itself in a very limited, what we call geofenced area. SAE has got a set of standards they call levels 1 through 5 for autonomy. For a vehicle to drive itself, it needs to be at what we call level 4. Today, vehicles are out on the road that can hold themselves in a straight line, what we call like level 2. Trying to get to level 4. Level 4 would enable you to drive in a dense urban environment, not necessarily go out into the suburbs or out into the rural area. And level 5 is kind of the ultimate goal where you can drive anywhere at any time. Right now, what most of us in the industry are looking at is trying to get to level 4 autonomy sometime in the next 4 or 5 years. Again, the key challenge is to take all the data that the human brain and eyes can process and translate that into something that we can all action from a vehicle perspective. Now, the human being can drive, not just when it's sunny and it's daylight, but can drive at night, It can drive when it's wet. It can drive when it's snowy. It can drive in all kinds of conditions. And one of the challenges we have with the autonomy is that the different sensors that we have don't always work in all kinds of weather. So one of the key challenges we've taken on this calendar year is to figure out a way to have the vehicle drive in snow. And we created a video we rolled out in January called Snowtonomy. And Mike, what I'd like to do is to roll that video now to get people a sense for, just before we start the video, this work that we did was actually done in M-City. I know that's on the agenda for later today as a tour to take, and I think you'll find it very interesting. But we view the M-City environment as a key enabler, not just for us, but for some of our fellow competitors in this space to go off and test things in a safe manner in what we call a dense kind of urban environment where you can get a lot of different obstacles that show up, including dummies that jump out in the middle of the street, just like someone may run out inadvertently chasing a ball or something like that, doing it in a safer manner than driving on public roads. So this Snowtonomy video was shot at M-City. We've had pretty harsh winters the last 2 years. This year hasn't been so bad, other than it's 18 degrees in April. But not a lot of snow. So this is one, I think, of the 3 snow days we've had in the last 3 or 4 months. So Mike, let's roll the video. So as you can see, you saw the clip about the data we take in is more than 10 years of personal cell use data. That's the kind of data that we're dealing with. And not only the technology in terms of integrating all this information coming at us, but the sheer amount of storage capacity required to process all that data and store it is incredibly important to what we're doing as an industry. So that kind of is a overall preview of what we're working on from an industry perspective. We're very excited to be sponsoring the event for the 2nd time. And we're very excited about having so many people interested in science, technology, engineering, and math. We view that as a key enabler for us as a company to be successful moving forward. We also view it as a key enabler for not just the automobile industry, but industry in general, to enable us to move forward and have the kind of standards of living that Rick talked about in terms of what the future will bring to us. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to Rick and I think on to Dave. Thank you.